Hi again. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the importance of creating your sacred space and the process of doing that. There were a few things that I didn't go over completely in the last episode, and I'd like to cover now. Um, One of the most important pieces of information that you need to know when working with any sort of healing activity or psychic work, and that does include working with your crystal skull, is that you really need to feel connected. You need to ground yourself. And what does grounding mean? Well, grounding simply means that before you begin any of your activities within your sacred space, and perhaps you may even want to do this before you clear your sacred space out with the sweeping, such as I showed you, or the consecration of the circle. You would prepare yourself by what is known as grounding. And within grounding, you simply, it's fairly simple. You can visualize that your feet are securely connected to the earth. And even though gravity clings us there, sometimes our minds are just too full, and we're just floating around. And often when you're doing spiritual work, you're almost in another dimension anyway, and so you're floating around, feeling all these sacred things, and you're not really, you have no foundation underneath you. And so what you're pulling from is only your own energy, mostly, and not taking full advantage of your connection with the material, physical world, the earth itself. There's a lot of energy within the earth that supports you in this life, and so you should draw upon that so you don't short circuit yourself while you're working. So simply what you need to do is put yourself in a space of meditation and ground yourself by visualizing your feet fastened to the earth, and you might think of yourself as having tree roots that flow down in the earth, and that through those roots the energy can come up through your energy centers, in through your each chakra, all the way up to your crown chakra, and then back down into the earth again, and it becomes a full circuit. And this will give you a sense of balance, connectedness, and it will make you, sometimes you might even feel a little bit nauseated if you do healing work or too much psychic work, because you're short-circuiting yourself. So grounding is really important, and I feel an obligation to tell you about this. It's something that I feel is left out of the healing work and psychic work a lot, and so I really wanted to emphasize that. And you stay that way, not just when you're in your sacred space, but you try to stay grounded all the time in your everyday life. So if you're not feeling very grounded, you can do the visualization technique with the tree roots, but you can do physical things like you can stomp your feet, you can dance, you can run, you can do physical activities, things that make you feel grounded and in your body. So it's very important. So once you've created your sacred space, as we did before, and you are in your bubble of light, you have created a place that you're fully connected to the divine, and you can feel so much of the blessings of all that you've called in, all the archangels, all the power animals, Christ consciousness, the sense of oneness can all be felt here in your sacred space. And then you can truly go to work and enjoy doing whether you want to do meditation work or whether you want to do some things like I talked about in other episodes, like your psychic work, whether you do, you can do scrying, you can do psychometry, and you can do a lot of spiritual work with your crystal skulls in the sacred space with your groundedness. After you're finished doing that, what you want to do is you want to dissolve your circle. You want to also thank all the beings that were there. So you can just mentally thank them. You can state it right out loud. You can do a little prayer of thanksgiving, and just send them into back into the what you would call the mundane space. And then, so as you had your circle enclosed by the light bubble, you would simply just draw a line through it and open it back up, and that signals the end of your sacred time that you put aside for yourself. Afterwards, it's also traditional to celebrate, and if you're by yourself, you can do this on your own, or if you're in a group, you can do things like celebrate by dancing, music, or sharing a meal together. So you might want to have some fruits, some traditional foods, things with honey, bread, wine, milk. All these things are sacred offerings that you can enjoy with your with the spirits there. You can actually just lay them out and offer them to the spirits that came, and it's also nice to do this just to offer it for the skulls. It may sound funny, but they like to eat too, and it's just a sign of respect and the acknowledgement of their sacred nature. And you can also eat it yourself. So these are some things that I wanted to wrap up with in talking about sacred space and sacred time. You can do this on particular occasions, whether it be time you just set aside for yourself, or it can be on a particular day like the summer solstice, the winter solstice, the equinoxes, the holidays, or cycles of the moon. These are particular occasions that you might want to make a sacred circle, but it doesn't have to be a particular time for it. Those are traditional ones. So I hope you've enjoyed and learned something about creating sacred space and working with your crystal skulls. And if you would like some more information on this, you might want to visit my website, which is internationalspiritualexperience.com, and I do offer workshops with crystal skulls and many different spiritual workshops, and we do this all around the world. So if you'd like to know what we're doing, you're welcome to check us out, and stay tuned for more episodes about crystal skulls and other spiritual topics. Namaste.